I'm so excited for this call. So welcome everybody to this call. I'm so excited for you guys to hear from Lindsey. Lindsey Gray, a brand new 6-star diamond coach. And she is a 2-time premier coach. She has been with Beachbody for 6 years. And here's a really interesting fact about her is she retired in 2.5 years as a 6-figure earner at 1-star diamond. She's a Success Club 5 legend, and she's on the Market Council over in Chicago. And I just have to say it. She knows I'm going to say it. So she's with Christina Solin's team. I work really closely with Christina, Success Partnership. We do a lot of stuff together. And last year we were at Leadership. We were in Vegas, and this is like my favorite story is we were sitting in a bar, and I remember Lindsey looking at us dead in our faces what am I doing? And she was like, that's it, I'm going 5-star. And we were like, and here we are 10 months later, 6-star. And I'm like, what did you change? What did you do? You got to tell them what you did. So I'm so excited. Also, I want to add, Lindsey is a mom, and she puts that first more than anything, which is super impressive. So if you're a mom and you're struggling with that balance and really trusting that, can I do this with little ones at home? I'm excited for her to share a little about how she does that as well. So Lindsey, I'm on an iPad learning all the things. Let me unmute you. Oh, you are? Okay. Unmute.
Hi.
Yay! Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I did my hair.
I kind of did, not really.
And I have real clothes on, and I have makeup on. So Melissa actually just messaged me. She's like, "Look at you! You did your hair." I'm like, "I know," because for those of you that heard that I put my business or my mom life first, it's true. I never have. I'm a hairstylist by trade. And you would never guess that if you knew me every single day. So yes, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for that intro, Linz.
You're welcome. I'm excited you're here. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay.
We'll take over.
Yeah, sounds good. So, you know what is so funny? I just made a post about this too, and I posted this picture from when we were at Summit this year, and we were on this bridge with my team. And I remember talking to them right after the photo shoot before we all went our separate ways and we were meeting up at the closing that night. And I looked around and there were over 40 people in my downline right there. And I remembered the first year there were 6 and the second year there were 12 and all of this. And there's these moments that I feel really define you in your business, and they give you the breath to keep going to the next one because they don't happen all the time and they won't happen all the time. And you have to get them every now and again and really breathe them in to be able to push you, so to speak, push the sail across the water far enough until that next gust of wind comes. Do you know what I'm saying? And so Summit was one of those big moments for me. And I just posted that picture and I had tears in my eyes when I posted it. And then, and I'm an emotional person, but not normally about something like that really. And then right now, just hearing Lindsey kind of talk about Leadership last year when I went as Christina's guest, and really declaring that something had to change and I was going to do it. And that was it. I was just putting my foot down. And then here we are, and we were 7-star qualifying. We just lost that, but I don't care. We're doing the things, and there are some things that really changed my business. But I think a lot of it, you guys, is really deciding to be the person that I had to be to hold the spot that I said I wanted for this long. Because if I'm being honest with anyone, and I think if anybody here is being honest with yourself, can we really say that we've done the things consistently long enough over time to hold what we say that we want and we deserve? Can we really say we haven't fallen off and really intentionally every single day, really decided to stick with it for the long haul and actually make it happen that time? Or at some point along that road and that journey, did we give ourselves permission to let up a little bit because life was hard and school started and babies came in and they don't sleep right? And toddlers are teething and husbands are working overtime and all this stuff, right? But it's like when I think that there's something that I believe strongly in my business is that, you know, and I think Christina talks about this, and I'm sure Lindsey has, you know, your business, you very much should run in seasons. And some seasons are simply for you to have grace. And Melissa knows that I had a big season of grace. So for those of you that don't know, Melissa and I are accountability partners and work closely together. And, when we can. And like, I gave myself a very big season of grace, but you get that big season of grace, you ride that out to gain the momentum and the energy to push. And when you push, you don't stop until you hit it. And so many times looking back at when I said I was going to hit 5-star in the past, and when I said I was going to do this in the past, I never actually in my head made the decision to do it until I got there. Do you know what I'm saying? I gave myself permission in my head, not out loud, but I knew I gave myself permission to let up if it got too hard. And I think a big thing at leadership, you guys, was that one of the things that Lindsey said was that I was able to retire from my position as a stylist with a 6-figure earning business at 2.5 years, right? So now I've been in the business for 6.5 years. And so what's pushing me? Because my goal was to be home with my babies. I'm home with my babies. I'm here. Why do I have to push too hard? Why can't I be a little gentle on myself? You know, like, it'll happen if it's meant to happen. I don't want to be greedy, right? All these things. But in the end of it, you guys, I think one big thing that clicked for me is when I went to leadership with Christina, I wanted to earn that myself. I had finally got there, and it was because I was a guest, and I was like, I deserve to be here on my own. I should be here on my own. And that was the next thing that made that push for me. So I think a big eye opener for me were a couple things I'm going to share with you, but the biggest one there that made me kind of like put my hand on my hips and stomp my foot and get an attitude and be like, I'm coming here next year on my own, was that desire to accomplish something big that I wasn't going to give up on no matter what. And I had only felt that one other time in my business, and it's when I needed to be home with my kids. So it's really identifying that next piece, right? So I did go ahead and create a presentation last night after a glass of wine, and the kids went to bed, and my kids have been sick for 3 days. So it's not going to be the best presentation, but it's going to keep me on track. And I just wanted to be able to share something with you guys, kind of give you a little bit of background. And then I am going to tell you some very tangible things that I did with my team to move us forward. So let me go ahead and share my screen here really quick. And so I named it this because Lindsey said that's what she named it. So Lindsey's Road to 5-Star. Let me go ahead and see if I can go into present mode. I never do. I never go into present mode. I'm going to tell you why, because then I lose seeing the image, and I still like to watch you guys. So if you guys are fine with it, I would like to keep it in this mode. Are you guys cool with that? Okay. Because then I can still see you and I can see me, and I like to see it all. All right, so as Lindsey mentioned, I am a mom. I'm actually a boy mom. I have 4 boys. I'm also a bonus mom. The 2 older boys, Justin is 17, Nathan is 13. They live an hour away. They're my bonus sons. I've been in their lives since they were 3 and 7. And then I have 2 boys. 1 is 6 and 1 is 2. I am a wife to Rob, who's a very, very busy electrician, and he has these boys that live an hour away. He's a football coach, and he is a recent football coach, but he is super busy, and he's not home very often. I'm an Aveda hairstylist and educator, or I was from 2003 to 2015, which I took to heart so much and loved that job with every ounce of me. I never thought that I would ever actually leave it. I've been a coach since May of 2013. I actually started at 25 weeks pregnant, which a lot of people, that's the reason why they can't start something. It was my reason why I needed to start something. When my coach came to me and talked to me, it was like, I knew that I was going to have to go back to work after 6 weeks of being of having my baby, and the way that she presented the opportunity to me with authenticity of what it could do for me in the future, in the very near future, I took to heart and I jumped in and I ran with it. So I was a Success Club starter. I also was able to take 13 weeks off as a maternity leave. I put like $5,000 aside from coaching in the first 15 weeks of my business, because I had, I guess there's a third thing, that I had a reason to run for something that mattered, something that I needed to grab a hold of. I knew it was possible. I was told it was possible. I was told what to do it. And I went for it. And that's not because I did anything that you guys don't know. When I give myself grace, I give myself grace. But when I dig my feet in, I dig in and I go for it. I retired, as you guys already know, as a 1-star. Arnaud Nakaha, is that how you say his last name? He actually called me one day, and he, as a 1-star, and he's like, I have never seen anyone with your income at a 1-star. What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm focusing on volume. I've always hit Success Club. I've actually only ever not hit Success Club 3 or 4 months out of my entire business. But I will tell you that Success Club is important to me, but volume is more important to me because it's what brought me home. But I'll always hit Success Club. I'm a firm believer that you can do both. So I'm a 6-star diamond coach, currently 2-time premier. And those things I can't even believe I all just said about myself, right? Like full circle moment. I would really encourage all of you to write down all of the things that you are and that you've achieved, big or small, the pounds that you've lost and all of that, and put them on something like this. Put them on in a presentation, in a picture, and it's really something that kind of breathes some more belief into you. So that just now came to me, looking at this and saying all of these things. Even if I could have only said one of them or 2 of them, it really helps you to remember your worth and sometimes forget all of those no's and the times that you fall, don't define you. You have so much more that defines you. So, as Lindsay also said, I am a mom first and my business is a second. But I will tell you something. My business is a very close second. I believe that so many people are afraid to dive into this business as a mom because they feel mom guilt and they feel like they shouldn't be taking the time away from their kids. And I totally get that. I also believe with all of my heart that we teach our kids how to be hard workers. We teach them how to go for goals, how to celebrate when they hit goals, what to do when they don't reach goals. We teach them about sportsmanship, and we do that more than just verbally. We actually impact them more when they see us go through the process. So I am a huge, huge mom first, but they see me work my business. They know when my business hours are. They know what my business hours look like, and they know that when my business hours are not there, they get all of me. And they respect that. And I did used to kind of deal with some mom guilt, but I think it's important for people to know, I've always said, I'm a mom first and biz second, but it's a close second because it's important for me to show them that you have to work hard for things, right? And then that matters. So my journey, like I said, I guess I didn't say all of this, but I was an emerald in 62 days, diamond in 10 months. This was not all an uphill. Actually, in between those 2 times, I almost quit. I had my son and things got hard, life got hard, and I almost threw in the towel. I told Christina that, and she said, let's just do this. I know that we can jump in and do this. And within a couple months, actually it was in about a month and a half, I was able to go diamond and then really start focusing more on volume and grow my income. I will tell you that with all the accolades I just told you, it's important for you to know that I almost quit before I hit diamond. It's also important for you to know that for 3 years, I was plateaued between 1 and 3-star. I missed a lot of 2-star bonuses. I'd fall every week. It was like something different. Was I 2-star, 3-star, 1-star? I don't know. Am I ever going to get past this? I don't know. Right? But it was because I was doing all of the things to maintain what I had, opposed to grow in the way that I grew before. So if you guys have read The Slight Edge, one of my favorite things that he says right in the beginning of the book is that successful people, what they do to earn huge amounts of success is they do all the things to reach success, and then they keep doing them, right? How many times in my business have I done all the things to reach success and then let a few slip, even in my fitness goals, right? I mean, that's a big one for me. I do everything to get to the best weight I've ever been, I'm like the best shape I've ever been. And then I kind of get a little bit lazy, and it's like, what if just one time, like what if this time I could just hang on a little bit longer? So with that, we're going to get more into that, but that mentality right there is really what pushed when we went to leadership and I made that decision, really what pushed me to finally hitting 4-star in January of 2019. And then in August, just recently, 5-star and 6-star back to back. So I will tell you that what success looked like in the beginning for me when I was working full time looks very similar to what success looks like now for me when I'm working as a full-time coach and a full-time mom. So in the beginning, success looked like intentional pockets of time, right? Like in pockets of time, I knew when I was making my posts, checking my messages, checking in groups, inviting, reading, drives to and from work. I'd listen to calls and have one-on-one calls. After bed, I'd check my inbox and make another post. On the weekend, I'd get really clear on what I needed to do for the next week. And the key here is that I was constantly aware of what the most important things to accomplish that day and that week were. So I'm going to say something that not a lot of people say, and I want you to take this and take it seriously, yet don't like take it to the extreme. But if I was telling you that maybe in 6 years I've ever filled out completely maybe 10 trackers in 6 years is the honest to God truth. Now, I'm not saying I don't use them. I do, and I use different trackers all the time because I get bored with this one, so I try this one. But what I mean is that all the boxes are never checked. In a successful business, sometimes all the boxes are never checked because it depends on the season you're running. I feel personally like when I get in a rut in my business, it's because I'm trying to check all the boxes every single day. And when everything's important, nothing is important. Something that I find that's been very strong in my business from the beginning till now is that I know every single Sunday night what's important for the next week, what matters, what the most important things are. Those get done first. And if I can do the rest, great. But if those most important things get done first, then I'm successful. So being constantly aware of that. So that's what success kind of looked like in the beginning. You guys, I worked my entire business for 2.5 years off my phone in pockets of time and was able to walk away from my job. Not because I had more time than anyone else, not because I had a computer, not because I was tech savvy, not because of anything else, but because I was intentional. I knew what I was focusing on each week, and I used my time wisely. As a mom, we need to do that. Success as a part-time coach and stylist look very similar. If you notice, everything is the same. The only thing that changed at that moment in my business was I hired an assistant so that I only had to do what I had to do. I've had an assistant since I couldn't afford her. Before I could afford my assistant, I hired her. She's one of my discount coaches. She's one of my friends. She doesn't want to work the business at all, but she loves helping with little office work, and she stays home with her kids, and her kids are in school now, and she helps me with all of the stuff. So if I can, I don't know if I can, there, I can move it like this. So this was a little, no, you can't, Lindsay. Well, I wanted to. Hold on, there we go. So I asked her to write this up for me a long time ago because people kept asking me, what I had her do. And so she kind of just wrote down what she does in the months, in the weeks, and what days she does certain things, and then anything else that I ask her in between. As a mom, it takes a village to raise your kids. Holy cow, does it take a village. And we have a very small one. If my family doesn't live here, I have a sitter with me right now. She's here once a week for 4 hours. Other than that, my in-laws live an hour away, and we don't really have any help. My husband's gone all the time, so it's really hard. But with her, I give her the things that I don't need to be the one doing. I pay her $13 an hour, kind of random, but that's what I pay her right now. And I pay her by the month. So at the end of the month, she tells me how many, we have a little spreadsheet. And you guys, making this decision to have a village for my business, as well as a village for my family, took so much pressure off of me and allowed me to really be able to do the things I needed to do, that be consistently aware or constantly aware of what the most important things are to accomplish. I didn't have to do any of that scheduling. I didn't have to do any of the tallying points or doing Success Club banners or anything like that. That really eased up a lot. And I did it before I could afford her. And 2 months later, I could afford twice her work. Okay, so that was a big piece for me. So now I wanted to share kind of that stuff there because I realized that a lot of you probably relate to my story before opposed to my story now. So I thought it was important for me to kind of share that I have been working full-time doing this. I have been working part-time doing this and what really helped in those areas. But if you notice, in both areas, those other ones, they looked very similar. So Success Now as a full-time coach and a mom, I have never been more intentional with my very little pockets of time ever. Like, I have my nanny that comes over once a week for 4 hours. She's actually my son's Tumble with Your Tots coach. And I was like, please. She comes over once a week for 4 hours. She plays with them. I'm still here. So it's important for me that I'm around if they need me. So I don't go somewhere else. Sometimes I go get a pedicure. Sometimes I go to Starbucks. But for the most part, my mission and my goal in doing this was to be able to be a present mom that I felt like I never would have been able to be if it wasn't for this opportunity. And so everything that I do in my business aligns with that mission. My husband's like, oh my gosh, can you imagine if you got Taylor here like 4 days a week and you could just go somewhere and get all this work done? Like, your business would be so crazy right now. And I'm like, that's great, but that doesn't align with my heart. That doesn't align with my mission. I don't like it. Not doing it, right? But I can align with her being here 4 hours, playing upstairs. She just took the kids outside for a few minutes, right? I'm still giving them lunch. I still change the little one's diapers when she's here. I'm still a hands-on mom, but it allows me just that focus time that I don't get from my husband, from family members. It only comes in the morning before they wake up or at night before they go to sleep. So more intentional than ever. I listen to calls or do calls when Taylor's here, walking the kids, dishes, laundry, cooking. I only schedule times with my calls with my team twice a week. This is an important thing because what I'm going to tell you that I did that changed a lot in my business has to do with this. So I schedule calls with my team 2 times a week. There was a point a couple months ago, and Melissa can vouch for this, that I went all in, balls to the wall, excuse me, but I did. And I did calls every single day, morning and afternoon for like a month. And Melissa one day was like, so do you want to have a call? I'm like, I can't talk to anybody for like 2 weeks. Like, I can't even get on the phone. But it was in that time of hustle and digging my heels in that's what I needed to do. And that took precedence over a lot of the things that I would normally be trying to check off. Right? So now I keep my scheduled calls 2 times per week at certain times only. If people can't make those times, they will, if they really want to talk to me, or I will occasionally have another night where I'll open up, like with Lindsay, when we were talking about doing this call, she's like, how about this night? And I'm like, you know what, I'll do it if we absolutely have to, but if we could do a daytime, one of these days at one of these times, that would be ideal, because that's when I know that I can give you and other people my best. And when it's taking away from something else, it's taking away from my family and it's taking away from somewhere else, then it's not aligned with my mission. It's not aligned with my belief in my business. And I can't, be all in with that. So still after bedtime, I do a lot of things. Once on the weekend, I still get clear. And the most important thing in my business, and what you will know about me if you follow me on social media or talk to me about your business at all, is that I have a calendar up there with everything written on it, a calendar in my phone with everything written on it, a planner over there with everything written on it. And I constantly know everything that's happening this week, when I need to be doing certain calls, when I need to be checking things. And I'm clear every single week of what the most important things are. I think if I were to say that there was one secret sauce that really pushed me through in my business, I couldn't really identify one. One would definitely just be not giving up when things get hard, when we easily could all the time. But the biggest thing I think would be not just flying by the seat of my pants and checking all the boxes, always knowing which boxes were most important that week and realigning myself with it. Making sure every single week that I wasn't just doing what I needed to do to stay caught up, right? And sometimes, like when my baby would just scream for months, and I was fighting postpartum depression and it was really, really hard, my main thing was to share my story on social media. That's all I could do for a couple months, but I still did it, and that was my main focus, and I still got clear, and I still knew that was all I could do, and it aligned with me, and that was enough. Right? So really making sure of that, I think is like the common denominator here that really, really pushes me through in my business. So these are the two littlest boogers that really keep me busy. And mom guilt, I'm sure, one thing that I'm sure that a lot of people have it, especially if you're working outside of the home. When you come home, your time needs to be with your kids. And what I would say is that it should be, but they should see sometimes a little bit of what working hard for something looks like, in my opinion, in my belief. So for me, I am sure that I do as much work as I can when they're not around, but I'm also sure that they know what work looks like I said, including my husband, and why it's important to me and why it's important to them. I let my kids know this is an important phone call for me to do right now while you're playing with Taylor, because our team did something really exciting from working really hard, and I get to share with other people who are working really hard too. I get to share with them right now what I did to achieve that, which is really exciting. And then after, I'm going to come out and we're going to play, and you can teach me what you're doing really good with in football right now, or whatever it is, you know? So making sure people know what it looks like, why it's important to them, and why it's important to you as well. Setting your schedules and sticking to them as best as you can in this time of push where I was like, okay, listen, we are hitting this and this is what we're doing. I really had to be more intentional with my schedule than ever and stick to it. I found that I was very leisurely about it for a while. Like, oh, I'm going to do this at this time, and that time would come and then I didn't really feel like it. So I'll do it later, and then later would come and I'd just kind of do a couple things. Setting your schedule and really sticking to it was a big one for me. And I think that we always, that helps with the mom guilt too, knowing they know when it's going to happen and you do too. Sandwiching work pockets in with intentional family and connection pockets. So every time I'm working, before and after, they're getting like some major one-on-one time with me, because they know, then they don't feel neglected, like they're just waiting for that time. They had it and they know it's coming again when my work time is over. And then this is a big part that I already said, but realizing that children will get their work ethic from you. That's supposed to say from. I told you I had some wine. Share when you're working hard for something and why, and celebrate it with them when you achieve it, and even if you don't. When we were going for 5-star, there were many times that we didn't hit it since January, and I would get to the last qualification day of, like, this happened with 4-star, it happened with 7-star recently, and it happened with 5-star once, and it dropped, and I would be like, darn it, and I would tell my 6-year-old, my 2-year-old doesn't understand, but I would explain it to him, and I'd be like, but you know what that means? I just got to keep going and try harder, right? They understand and they learn from you, and they want you to hit that too. When ours finally, when we hit 5-star, I was excited, but I knew we were hitting 6-star the next week. And I guess in my head, as humans, we can downplay things sometimes, like, oh, it's 5-star that I've been trying hard for so long, but I'm hitting 6-star next week, and I have a hard time celebrating myself sometimes. So, but I had told my 6-year-old about it, and he celebrated me all day and my hard work. And look what you did. I'm so proud of you. And he kept giving me a kiss and put his arm around me on the couch. My husband and I were laughing about it. But it teaches them to work hard too, and it doesn't allow that guilt to be there, right? It's kind of like when they're cheering you on in your fitness, in your workouts. How many times do like kids come in the room when I'm working out and you're getting tired, and sometimes they'll be like, go mom, go, or whatever. And it's like, ooh, that's what I needed. They can do that in your business too. So teaching them good sportsmanship, and it's okay to fall and keep trying, and let them be a part of the process. So I let them be a part of the process. If Taylor wasn't here, I'd probably be nursing one, and the other would be like making faces at you, and I would still do this call. because I scheduled it, because I said I would, and they're on every team call of mine pretty much. They're a big part of my business. One of our things that we say on our team is that we are building businesses and babies. On our team calls, there's always children, and they listen. I think they take away a lot, but they also, I think it removes a lot of that guilt. So, you know, that's a big one for us. So at the end of the day, you guys, you know, it's a decision. Emerald was a decision, and we tell our coaches right now, it's not hard. Emerald's a decision, right? Diamond is a decision. 2-star is a decision. 5-star is a decision. It's a bigger decision. It's a harder decision because you have 5 people in there that are making this decision with you. And that is the biggest key I can give you right now. I'm going to say that again. You have 5 people that are making this decision with you. Emerald is a decision you can make for yourself. Diamond is a decision you can make for yourself. 2-star, you need some people making that decision with you, right? Couple people. 5 people need to make the decision to hold rank 6 weeks and longer and be in with you. 5-star is a decision for you and 5 other people. Now, not growing it is a decision, right? You have to be willing to change what you're doing and know that there's a way that it will work to be successful. So when I look back at when I made the decision to be 5-star before, and it just kept not happening, it's because I was trying to do the same things and reach the same goal that I was not reaching, and I was just going to try to keep doing the same things. So when I left leadership, I realized that I really needed to do something different to make this this happen. So I had to make the decision to act like the person consistently who gets to hold the place that you want to arrive at as your goal, attract those people, have that belief, that confidence, and that momentum. Because I realized that I was that person a lot of the time, but I wasn't that person all the time, and that I probably could show up differently to my team to help us all be in it together. So you already know, I'm getting to the juicy part. Don't worry to what you guys kind of really want to know. But, you know, there was, where was I? Just a reminder, for a long time, I was stuck. Lindsey read all those accolades in the beginning that made me feel like a superstar and so amazing, but I was stuck for a very, very long time. And that's important for you guys to know. I know I have a friend, Tabitha, she's always like, you just always seem like you're rocking. Like you are always rocking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm glad you think so, because I am not, you know. I was stuck for a long time. And when I think back to what made me stuck, it was because I was stuck in my excuses, right? I was stuck in my life phase. We can go through life phases, and some life phases are going to take us and wrestle us to the ground, but you can't let it make you get stuck there. You have to get up. And I was stuck in my life phase of Oliver doesn't sleep, and he still doesn't sleep. He's up like every 3 to 4 hours, and he's 2. You know, I was stuck in that, which would make me lazy in my business and just maintain opposed to continue. And it made me okay to be where I was, because it was hard to be where I was, but I could manage the level of hard, if that makes sense. So like, it's hard, right? We always hear this. It's hard to stay where you're at. It's hard to push for what you want. Both are hard. You choose your hard. I believe that 100%. But I also believe that the hard you're already managing is easier to manage than trying a new hard, right? Like switching hard gears, one is still a little bit harder. So you have to, I was just willing to manage the hard that I already had. So I had success. Like I said, I didn't want to be greedy. I wanted to give myself grace. I pushed when I could, and I relaxed when I needed. But then something had to flip the switch, and that was my decision to find the energy to push past the life phase and the exhaustion, to realize I could do it. Basically, enough was enough. You guys hear that all the time when people say that they finally lost the weight because they just were sick and tired of being sick and tired. I went to leadership and I looked around, and I was there as a guest, and I'm so grateful and thankful that I went as Christina's guest. And we got so much closer, and we had like the best time of our lives. Lindsey was like, go to bed. We're like, no. We had like the best time in the world. But, you know, I was sick and tired. Basically, at that moment, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of being in the same place in my business. And the only person I had to blame was myself, not the people I couldn't find, not my coaches that weren't working. It was myself. right? Because if I was going to be the person that deserved to hold that place, then I needed to show up differently for my coaches. Because if they weren't doing what they needed to do, it's because I wasn't showing up in the right way for them. And if I wasn't attracting the people that wanted to work, then it's because I wasn't showing up the right way for them. How did I need to show up for the people to join me? And how did I need to show up for my coaches to say, yes, let's make this, I want to make that decision too. I had to switch. I had to flip the switch. So the biggest thing that changed my entire business and finally brought us to this was not a new diamond. It wasn't a new diamond. It wasn't a new coach. All of these coaches have been on my team for a year or more. It simply was the way that we connected differently. And yes, I'm enrolling new coaches, and yes, they're doing great and they're hitting Emerald and we're moving forward. Not all of them, because that's just doesn't happen. That would be great, but that doesn't always happen. But you guys, the biggest thing was that if any of you went to Summit, I started paying attention, closer attention, intentional attention, heartfelt, like pouring love and giving them my only hour, if that's what I had that day, if they needed it, to the people that were already at my table. Because I realized I gave them the tools, I gave them the YouTubes, we did groups together, we got on team calls, but I could pour into them more if I really believed in them, and I did. So I had to thicken that connection. So what I had to do was get on the phone with like almost all of my coaches and get clear with what they wanted and what I wanted. And then we decided, like, what are we going to do? Look at all of these typos. What are we going to do to change this? Like, do we want this? Are we in this? And if we're in this, then let's do this together. But we've always done this together. One thing that our team has a really strong thing with is, like, we do have a really strong connection. Our team has a lot of fun together, but it's a connection in a group setting, and there wasn't a lot of that one-on-one, right? Because I was too busy for one-on-ones. I was way too busy, right? And it's like that there was no way we were going to bring more people to our table and attract, here's a big piece, attract the other people that wanted to be a part of it. People want to be a part of it when they see that it's not just you at the party. I had to show them that our connection was thicker, that our team was dynamic, that we had a lot of fun, because when more people are at the party, more people want to come. So a big piece here in pushing and moving forward in my business to 5-star and 6-star and to whatever else, we're going to, of course we have our goals, right? Is one, staying in that connection with serving the people at my table, because I love them and they deserve that. And if that's my work for the day, then it's worth it. But also in doing that, all the posts that we make about our community, all of the stories that we say about our team, people can see that and feel that more now through our energy, through our posts, through our trillers that we do that are fun, through our live workouts that we get on in the morning, only like once a week, because not a lot of us are morning people, but we still do it at least once a week. We show them that in a different way now. And when they see not just me talking to them about coaching and me talking to them about my business and me talking to them about our team, but they just see our team, they want to come to the party. That's how you attract the other people that are going to do this with you. Does that make sense? That was like a huge aha moment for me, because I'm always like, all right, I can invite. I'm great with conversations. Let's go. And I was on this recruiting low, and I'm not going to say I'm on a recruiting high right now, because I am intentionally putting my energy in other places right now. But I will tell you that the minute I flipped that and started sharing more about the business but with my team, about our energy, about how much fun we have here, about this and that, and it turned into something so much bigger than me, and I shared that without it just being me delivering it, I attracted those people. Like, literally the week that I started, 3 working coaches, hey, I want to do it, and I'm like, whoa, we're onto something here, right? We actually brought back a coach that hadn't been working the business for a while. She's like, okay, you guys are having fun. I miss the community. I'm back. And she went emerald in like 3 weeks and she's rocking it. I'm like, okay, all right, we're on to something. And I really, truly believe it's serving those people at your table and showing people that and talking about it in that way to help attract those people that want to do the same thing. So the biggest thing that I think pushed us forward is that connection, is really staying on top of your Wednesday night sponsorship drill downs. Okay, I got lazy with them for a while because I'm like, whatever, like if they're going to hold, they're going to hold. You got to check on your people. I check it Tuesday, I check it Wednesday, I see who's going inactive, I make sure the coaches know, we talk to them about it, and we are ahead of the game, right? That's important. But a big thing was that Jackie Hart actually is a diamond in our downline, and she implemented something that she called the diamond track. She taught it to me, I jumped in, I went with it, and we also are doing like a Diamond Leadership 101 track, and it's just been amazing. For the first time ever, when one of my coaches hit diamond, she wanted to hold it because she equally wanted, and I'm sure it's not the first time ever, but it was verbally the first time ever someone had said that. She hit diamond, she went through the diamond track. This connected us so much as friends because I was in her business helping her, that when she hit diamond, she was so passionate about holding it for me to hit something too. Where in the past, I felt like it was all about that other person. Like, you hit diamond, great job. No, oh, you fell off after 2 weeks. It's all right, we'll get it back. And they're just like concerned about holding it for themselves. Letting my team know the goal that I had, what I said, what I set, and why it was important to me, just like with my children, right? Just like with my team, letting them know, I found out that they want to fight for that for me too. When I fight for it with them. When I'm in their business helping them, they are my biggest fans. I get more guilt from not helping my coaches enough than I do mom guilt now. Like, mom guilt's not even a thing to me because I have my schedule and I'm mom, I'm here, or I'm whatever. I get more guilt now from feeling like, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to Devin in a week and a half one-on-one. I got to get on a phone call with her. I need to know what's going on in her business and I need to help her. And she feels that passionate about it for me. She would have done, one night she was like, I'm going to do anything I can to make sure that I don't that one of her coaches was going to lose emerald. And she's like, I'm not losing diamond for you. We're going to do this and we're going to hit it. And it was like, as much as I wanted to fight for her, she wanted to fight for me. And it was all the connection and these little pieces that really made that difference. So within the diamond track, kind of what it is to be in it, you have to be emerald. It's only working with one coach at a time, by the way. You could do it with maybe 2, but you're going to be pretty busy. I wouldn't recommend with doing it more than 1. I tried to do it with a few and it was exhausting. But you do it with 1, they have to be emerald, and they have to have recruited those coaches, not emerald because it's their spouse and their mom. Emerald because they've recruited a couple. So you know, like, okay, they're in it. Here we go. They have to have we have team calls every Monday night at 7:30. So they run differently. Monday nights are new coach focused. The first Monday, the second Monday is an action hour, and the third and the fourth Monday are guest speakers. But they have to attend at least 2 calls a month, and they have to be hitting Success Club. They have to commit to 2 15-minute calls a week with me, and they share their trackers on Thursday with me and their diamond roadmap on Thursday. The whole expectation, though, is that I'm in it with them. I'm helping them. I'm watching them. I'm helping them hold their diamond. I'm helping them in their conversations. I'm asking them, who are you and who, this week, if I'm on the phone with them, I'm helping them see their vision. We're talking about it. We're excited for each other. I'm doing sneak peeks with them. If I feel like they are great live videos, but like on live videos, but they're just not doing that in their social media, I'm like, this week, we're going live. What are we doing? I'm 100% dedicated to that person. I don't have a time frame on it. It's not for 30 days. It's not for 60 days. It's until they hit it. That's why it's important that for me that they have to be emerald, have a couple coaches they recruited themselves, and that they have to commit to all of this. Jackie does a 3 strikes, you're out. I didn't, and then I learned that I should have. So that's something I'll be doing from now on. You miss a 15-minute call, you miss a team call, you miss sharing something, fine, but something happens 3 times in a row. Maybe you're not ready for the diamond track because I'm basically working my business and yours. Right? So in your business, I'm in their business with them, helping them, like I said, and when they're done, when they hit it, they have an incentive for hitting it and holding it for 6 weeks. They go in something called the Diamond Leadership 101 group, where Jackie and I put just some leadership trainings in, and then they go through those videos on their own. Our team, or our one-on-one calls, go down from 2 times a week to 1 time a week. And it's just one 15-minute call, and we're just now monitoring their business and helping them to secure diamond, and we work 6 weeks after that together. So that, I feel like, has been the biggest thing for me, was the decision that enough was enough, serving those at my table, being in it so much with them that they were more in it so much for me than I feel like we've ever been. It really connected our teams more, brought us more together, and in turn made it different. The way I talked about coaching made it bigger than me, bigger than the company, bigger than Beachbody. It was about something else. It was about this community that you can't just create every day, right? These people, this tribe, really. I mean, it sounds silly. I wish I could think of another word, because people use that word all the time, but I can't. But it's, it creates something else, that in being able to talk about it that way, and people being able to just feel the energy from the photos and see from your stories as you're showing, like you're doing your live workout or your trillers and you're tagging people in them and everything. It's attracting the right people to us, because they know they're coming to a place where when you sit at our table, you're meant to be there. I'm not off how Ashley said, okay, everyone sit at the table now, talk, I'll be back. I'm going to go see if more people want to come sit here. Right? Like, read this document and I'll be right back. It's read and do what you need to do, because you need to be a resourceful coach. You need to stand on your own 2 feet, but what can I do to help you? I'm still at the table. People can come because they're going to see the table and they're going to know that it's awesome, and I'm still inviting to it, right? But that was a big one for me. And then this diamond track. So I can show you guys kind of what it looks like inside of one of the diamond tracks. But at the end of the day, I was thinking of how to end just the presentation part last night. And I feel like this was the quote that I found for a reason, because it says, self-trust is the first secret of success. And if you remember what I said before about how the slight edge really starts with the conversation, or him saying like that you have to do the things to be successful, but then continue to do those. I'm going to be 100% honest with you and say that this was probably one of the few times in my business that I trusted myself to know that I wasn't going to let myself down. I had self-trust that I was going to do this. And I put the work in intentionally. I figured out what I needed to change, and I showed up there. And in my business in the past, when I was going to hit this by this time and this by this time, I don't know if I ever really trusted what I said, because in my head, I always gave myself permission because of my life phase and because of this. Right? In my life, what could happen, I gave myself permission already to have an out. And I do believe that goals are not set to be hit. I do believe that they're set to stretch you, but I do believe that every few, you better make sure that it happens. Otherwise, you don't know when that next gust of wind is going to come that's going to carry you across the water, right? So, with that being said, if you guys have any questions, I can go ahead and answer any questions or anything right now. I can show you the inside of what, with the diamond track, it's held in a private group. It's just myself and that other coach. And I have check-ins that pop up every other day that ask about personal development, ask about invites for the week. And there's nothing else in there. Nothing. It's no fluff. There's no conversation going on in there. It's just strictly a place where they're getting checked in on, in a group that's just myself and them. So I'm happy to show you that, or answer any other questions that you have. But that's it. I hope I gave you something to run with. But that's the road. That's our map right there.
Yeah, they're asking if they can see it. And Nancy says, this was everything I needed to hear. Thank you so much. You have any questions, Nancy? Other than she wants to see the diamond. Okay. So the diamond track is the group. And then once they hit diamond, and they move into the next group, right?
Yes.
Is that right?
So yes. So they go into, I'll show you a live one right now. I'm doing a diamond track with Jessica. That's not how you spell her name. That's just how my hands spelled her name. Don't worry. So simple, Jessica's fast track to diamond. Okay, so you open it up. There's nothing in the photos. There's nothing. If I know that she's struggling with something, I might put like a YouTube in here that's important or something. But for the most part, it's just me and her. Amanda's in here because she's shadowing it right now and she's helping a little bit with it as well. But basically, you can see their scheduled posts because my assistant posts every couple days, just a random check-in. I don't actually need to show you that. I can just show you the screen. So like right here, yesterday, because it was Wednesday night, post your updated roadmap. And Jessica will comment below what's changed on her roadmap to diamond since our last conversation. How are the invites going? Invites are great. I invited 12 to the 3-month group today. So these are like every couple days. How many invites this week? Share your tracker. And she shared some things that are working for her. There's the roadmap, personal development. Did you read today? What did you learn? And she shares her takeaways. So this, at first, people are like, well, I think I do that, but I don't know if I do a group like that. This has been the best because so often we forget, like on our phone calls, to really talk about this. And it's a place where all the things that matter business-wise are that we can come look at. But when we get on the phone, like the first call of the week, we talk about her vision. Like, okay, how's everything aligning with your vision right now? Because you heard me say that, like, my husband saying I needed 4 days of Taylor there, like that's not aligned with my vision, right? So is everything that I'm having you do in your business right now, is it aligning with your vision? Are you feeling good about this? Are you feeling good about the lives that we just talked about? Are you feeling good about the way that you're inviting, right? And what is that vision again? And they tell me a little bit more about their vision. And I can be like, oh my gosh, yes, I can see it now when you walk across that stage next year. Like it's going to be so great. And I can breathe that belief into them about that vision. And okay, let's set the goal for the week. What's our goal? Awesome. Let's talk again on Friday at 10 o'clock. We have 15 minutes and set a timer because you guys need to respect each other's time. Because these can go for an hour. You're not getting on 2 1-hour calls a week. Now, sometimes do I get on the phone for an hour with them? Yes. If it's like, oh my gosh, it's crunch time and we're about to hit it and we're doing this and that and let's get in here and really dive in, sure. But for the most part, it's 2 15-minute calls. And then on that second call, it's more of like, okay, let's look at your organization. Let's look at your volume. Let's look at all of this. What do we need to do? Okay, your next coach placement, maybe we need to go here. Who can we work with to hit Emerald right now? How's your new coach onboarding going? How's she feeling? Do I need to get on a call with her? So one is more like belief and setting goals and like all of that. And the other is like, all right, let me in there. put me in, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, biggest takeaway, basically that's it. And then, you know, she'll go live in there occasionally, but it's basically asking her every few days about trackers, roadmaps, personal development, and invites, how many friends you've added. So just to keep her engaged.
And what if, so what's the 3 strikes? So is it she's not commenting on things, or is it she doesn't show up to calls, or is it, what was the other thing? Doesn't show up to, or Success Club? Is it all the above, or how do you determine?
So if a strike is not commenting within a couple days on one of these posts, within 24 hours, you should probably have had time to respond to that. So not commenting, not turning in your tracker, which is on the post anyway, not showing your roadmap, which I'm calling out for anyways, not getting on 2 team calls a month. If she only gets on like 1 call, then she doesn't get on another, because connection is huge and that's something I really, want, then that's a strike. Or if like we have a 15-minute call, this has never happened with them, but if there's a 15-minute call and they need to reschedule and it's whatever, that's fine, let's reschedule. But like if they're just like, oh, I can't get on the call, and then we never reschedule, and before you know it, it's like the next week and I'm chasing them for the call, then, that would be considered a strike, so to speak. I don't consider Success Club a strike because I'm in their business with them.
Yep.
But if they're not getting anything, like there's no activity whatsoever, then we really need to talk about, like, should you be in this diamond track, or should we go back to the basics with you?
Gotcha. Awesome. So then once they complete this, which is so let's say she hits diamond. Let's say she hit diamond today.
Mm-hmm.
So now what? So now you still do this for her to hold diamond.
Yep, I still do this. We do our calls 1 time a week instead of 2. We still do this, and then she goes into a Diamond Leadership Course 1.0 that another leader on my team and I created, which is pretty awesome. It has different weeks. We made a week that's just like a welcome and a checklist with an incentive. The incentive is that if they hold it for 6 weeks, or if they advance to 1 star in 60 days, they get a ring light. So that's fun. But so we have the units out. So unit 1 is just like a welcome and their checklist and their incentive. Unit 2 is personalizing their tracker and posting plan, what the diamond track is. I could even share this YouTube with you guys if you want to like dive in and understand it a little bit more. An Emerald in 24 hours to share with their team and learn how to run them themselves. Week 3 is talking about simplicity and duplication, personal and professional development, consistency and success club. Week 4, onboarding systems, what she does and what I do, so they get different perspectives. Organization, how we organize our business. Leadership tips, we both have different tips. And then setting boundaries in office hours, meeting people where they're at, collaborating, 2-star diamond, and vision. So it's like 8 weeks in here. They go through on their own. We don't kind of go through, we'll check in and see how they're doing on our 1 time a week calls. But here they're like doing all the things they did before, but now we're focusing on like, let's set the foundation for the people coming in, get your systems down, really know what you're going to do, and stabilize your diamond.
Awesome. I love that. Okay, see a question. Do you look to sell challenge packs, more products, or 3 monthly packages? The 3-month bottle.
That is a really good question. I'm going to stop sharing for now. If you guys want me to open it back up, I can. So I can't say that I've ever gone for challenge packs. Of course, I want them because I want to hit Success Club, but Melissa can vouch for me. I don't care if I hit Success Club 10. I've told her I've never had the goal of Success Club 10. I want to hit Success Club 6 because I'm hitting Success Club, but I just want to, like, I need to know that I'm moving forward. But more than anything, and I think it probably comes from being a hairstylist, is that I'm going to have a good consultation with someone. I'm going to know where they're at, what they need, and I want to make sure I'm giving them the best deal in getting that. And if the challenge pack, which is most of the time the best deal for them, then I'm going to offer that. But I've always built for volume. So for me, I understood the compensation plan a long time ago to where, like, if the challenge pack wasn't for them, then I was okay offering them anything, getting them in, loving on them. I actually let people in my groups for free. At the end of the day, if nothing, nope, great. Why don't you just come in and feel the energy, feel the accountability, and we'll talk again in 2 weeks. So it's never been about having to have a product in my groups. It's never been about having to have a challenge pack. It's always been about the person and whatever's best for them. And so it's really, I think at the end of the day, it's really making sure that you're good with consulting about it. And if it's a hairstylist analogy, but that's just how it is. I mean, if someone came in and said to you, which you're not hairstylists probably, but they were like, wanted something done, like a haircut, right? They show you a picture. Let's say I show you a picture right now and I say, I want to get my hair cut like this. You might be like, oh, have you ever had bangs before? Do you like them like that? Or do you think maybe you'd like the full, or do you think you'd want them to the side? And that's pretty short. Do you mean you want the length up that high too? And are you just talking about the haircut, or do you like the color? That's really blonde. Do you think you'd want it that blonde, or do you think you'd want it a little darker? That's what I'm doing with the people that are joining my groups, right? At the end of the day, I'm not deciding on anything for them until I've asked everything and I know 100% this is the best for you. And like I said, because Beachbody set it up that way, a lot of times the challenge pack is the best, right? And by the time we get to that, they know it's the best because of how we've talked about it and how much I've asked them. Hi. Yeah, so that would be my
answer. I think another way I always try to and I know it's hard because if you're recognition driven, you're very points, I gotta have the points, I gotta have the gift, I gotta have the things. And then it's oh, but look, I could do this, and this is volume, and this is volume. And what if they come in on the $39.95 and then they just buy Energize to start as a coach and it's not a pack? They could be your next diamond, And I always think about if points weren't there, what would it look like, And I know they're there because of course we have to have a recognition program, but that's something to always kind of look at it too, because I did not come in with Success Club. I didn't give my coach. I came in on $39.95, and then at 30 days, I was like, I guess I should buy something. But anyways, that's just something, and you just never know, because at the end of the day, for those of you who want to build a big business, it is all about the volume, which is why was a 1-star. Earning what she was earning is because she was so laser focused on that, not more than just pack. But the cool part is packs are a great deal for them, and a lot of the time they do like that. So you can still win either way.
Yeah.
So,
and I definitely will say that for those of you that know, sorry, this weird angle, we have a situation going on over here. I told you, one peeked in and then here's the other. So I will tell you that I'm a ruby. I am a sapphire ruby or a ruby sapphire, whatever. Christina thinks I'm one. I think I'm the other. But bottom line is they're very close. They are very close. And ruby, I do like recognition. Recognition is important to me. Hitting premier is important to me. Going for elite is important to me. But I just always have to think with everything that I'm doing with this decision right now. And Christina taught me this, right now, what's your goal? Income or advancement? And I'd always say, okay, it's this. All right, then, this is what you have to do. So it all goes back to being clear too about what your goal is at that time. So Success Club is important to me. I will always do everything I can to hit Success Club 6, but it might mean I'm talking to more and more people if I'm letting some people come in different ways, right? And that's just being intentional about what's important at that time. I'm just reading this hairstylist comment. Yes, the analogy works, right? Absolutely. I think that's the biggest thing, is that when people say that they're interested in something, we think we have a solution for them right away, but we don't, because if you walked in, and here's the other one, if you walk in and you say, hi, I need something for my hair, it kind of gets a little bit frizzy, and they just hand you a product, but they don't know, do you already have product in your hair that you use? Is your hair naturally curly? Is it straight? What makes it frizzy? Is it the humidity? They haven't determined all this stuff, but they just hand you this pack, right? It's not necessarily right for them, right? So anyway, now I'm going off on a tangent, but you understand the question, or understand.
We got a lot of hairstylists on this call, I think.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. Any other questions before we let Lindsey go? I hope this was awesome for you guys. I know for me, I learned a ton. Are you coming to Scottsdale? Did you earn it? Did you do it?
Yes.
So Yay. It's going to be another 24-hour party? No.
Yes. Christina goes, oh, we're not going to be in Vegas, though. I'm like, that's okay. She's like, yeah, it's probably a good thing. But yes. I can share the video on the Diamond Track with you, and I can also screenshot the different units that we have in the 101 group, just so that if any of you wanted to kind of see that again too.
That would be amazing, because I think a lot of them would like to give this type of move with their coaches a shot, since serving their table, they probably are like, oh yeah, great idea. So It was awesome. I took tons of notes. And thank you so much, Lindsey. And I'm excited to see you here in my town soon, next month.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me. That was fun.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.